welcome to this week's FridAI with me, Billy McLaughlin, and my humongous headphones. I forgot my microphone this week. I'm traveling, so you have got me and these huge headphones. But because I've been traveling, I have been doing a lot of reading, so I have a ton of notes of all the things that have been happening in the open market and specific to the accountancy profession. Now, starting with Amazon, who have made a $4 billion investment into Anthropic. Anthropic are the parent company of Claude AI. People say Cloud, some people say Claude. And they've made this investment to actually put their large language model into their personal home assistants. And if you've used your Amazon Alexa or Google Home Assistant, you'll realize that the response you get is actually not so good compared to what we do see from these large language models now. So that will be great to see. And as part of that, the negative is that it is going to be a subscription model, but the positive is that they are going to introduce a child-friendly one, a little bit like the parental locks on YouTube and Netflix. Amazon are going to introduce something like this to encourage children to use it, but make sure they do so safely. Talking of Claude AI, something very specific to the accounting industry, and this is something that Jason Stats has been talking about recently, is their new model where you're able to code using human language, not programming language. You don't need to know how to write code. You can speak like a human to Claude and ask it to create something. But what's super special about this, and I'm totally going to be trying this out myself in the next week or so, is as it creates the code and as it creates what you're asking it to, in one window on the left, the other side of the screen on the right will show you how this is going to look, and then you can adjust it. You can speak back to it and say, please move this button. So in the example I've seen online, it is a profit share calculator that's been created, and I just think it's not going to make accountants create the new huge, QuickBooks Zero Sage models. But if there are features or things in your business that are not as efficient and you just like to create a one-page model for your team or your clients or something like that, I think this is something that accountants might be getting on board with. So looking forward to that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is to do with safety. So the US government have now had confirmation from some of the big large language models and AI businesses that they will get early access to these models. So next week, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about OpenAI's launch of Strawberry, very cute little name. And it appears that the US government going forward will be getting access to these to ensure safety of use. That's great. I'm not really sure who's qualified in US government to be looking at this and the ins and outs of it. But it does lead me back to the UK, where we actually saw just this week, in fact, I think it was yesterday, that the Lord Chancellor has signed the first legally binding treaty governing the safe use of artificial intelligence. So that is very, very exciting. I think it shows that it's progressing, but I'm just hoping it doesn't halt any development. But we will see where that goes. So watch this space. As I said, next week I will be touching a little bit on OpenAI's Strawberry and also Gemini's new release of Gems. So Google have created Gems, which is a little bit of a competitor to GPTs. I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.